Poison control centers log thousands of herbal calls each year, not from experimentation, but from 5 repeating mistakes made by people who trusted what they packed. One plant mix-up delivers a paralytic toxin in under 2 hours. One dosing error quietly destroys a child's liver over weeks. These are documented patterns that turn a remedy into a second emergency. The first begins the moment you reach for the wrong leaf. Maya kneels at the edge of a damp field, knife in hand, scanning for wild carrot to add to her family's emergency kit. She pauses over a tall, feathery plant, white umbels, fern-like leaves, the right habitat. But the stem is hollow, streaked with purple blotches. There is a sharp, musty odor when she crushes a leaf. She hesitates, remembering a warning that not all lookalikes are safe. Poison hemlock, Conium maculatum, has killed before. Most famously, Socrates. Its toxin, conine, can paralyze breathing muscles within 2 hours. The difference between life and death often comes down to a few overlooked details. Botanists rely on the rule of 3 to avoid lethal confusion. Check the stem, the flower, and the smell. Hemlock can tower up to 9 feet, with hollow stems marked by purple blotches. Wild carrot, or Queen Anne's lace, stands shorter, 2 to 3 feet, with solid green stems and a sweet carrot-like scent. Hemlock's white umbels are dome-shaped, never flat, and they lack the single dark flower at the center that marks wild carrot. The leaves of hemlock are finely divided and give off a foul odor when crushed. A single misstep, harvesting based on 1 feature instead of 3, can lead to disaster. Clinical reports show that symptoms of conine poisoning start with nausea and muscle weakness, escalating to complete paralysis. Ingesting just half a gram of dried hemlock, or a few bites of the fresh plant, is enough to require emergency ventilation if help does not arrive in time. The fix is simple but non-negotiable. Never collect or use a wild plant unless you can confirm, beyond doubt, at least 3 independent identifying features. When in doubt, leave it out. For preppers and herbalists alike, this habit is the single most effective way to keep a remedy from becoming a second emergency. Maya measures dried leaves for a homemade salve, double-checking her notes. Her son, just 5, watches from the counter. She hesitates. Should the same amount go in his bath as hers? Most people assume herbs are gentle, but dose mistakes can turn a simple remedy into a silent threat, especially for children. Toxicologists warn that the body's ability to process plant compounds depends on weight, age, and even genetics. In the case of comfrey, used for bruises and sprains, the danger is hidden. Its pyrrolizidine alkaloids can block tiny liver vessels, causing damage that builds for weeks before symptoms appear. Symptoms can include jaundice, swelling, and even liver failure. The risk is so real that the FDA and the European Medicines Agency have banned comfrey for internal use, after reports of irreversible liver injury in children given teas or syrups for coughs. Valerian, often chosen for sleep, can have the opposite effect in young children, causing restlessness, agitation, and even nightmares when adult doses are used. Chamomile, trusted in many homes for calming upset stomachs, can trigger severe allergic reactions in people who are sensitive to ragweed. In rare cases, just a few drops of tea have sent children to the emergency room with swelling and trouble breathing. The fix is precise and simple. Always calculate herbal doses by body weight, using the formula milligrams per kilogram. Write both adult and child doses on an index card inside the kit. Never give a child more than 0.5 milligrams per kilogram of any herb unless a pediatric-specific guideline exists. When in doubt, consult a pharmacist or toxicologist, because with herbs the line between help and harm is measured in milligrams, not handfuls. Maya's kitchen is filled with the scent of dried herbs, glass jars lined up across the counter. She opens a jar of calendula, only to find the petals faded and the inside rim sticky with moisture. The label says it was packed last spring, But the once bright gold is now a dull, lifeless yellow. She wonders if the salve she is about to make will even work, or if it has quietly lost its power to time and sunlight. Improper storage doesn't just drain potency, and it can turn a trusted remedy into a hidden hazard. Scientific studies show that dried leaves and flowers lose up to 50% of their active compounds after just 12 months at room temperature, especially if exposed to light or humidity. Roots and barks fare a little better, but even they fade if left in clear jars or near the stove. Once moisture creeps in, invisible threats take hold. Molds like Aspergillus thrive in damp, poorly sealed containers, sometimes producing aflatoxins, compounds so toxic they can cause acute liver failure. In 2021, a CDC investigation traced an outbreak of hepatitis across 3 states to a contaminated herbal detox tea. 27 people landed in the hospital, some with permanent liver damage, all from a product stored in a kitchen cupboard. The fix is simple, but it must be absolute. Keep all herbs and extracts in airtight, opaque containers, stored below 20 degrees Celsius and away from direct sunlight. Label every jar with a clear expiration date and discard anything older than a year. This habit preserves both strength and safety, making sure a remedy stays a remedy, not a risk. Maya stands in the hallway, clutching a jar of yarrow tincture while her husband groans in pain from a deep, jagged cut. She hesitates, torn between her trust in the kit she's built and the gnawing sense that this wound is beyond her reach. The bleeding slows, but never truly stops. Minutes stretch out. The urge to do something, anything, presses against the knowledge that some emergencies demand more than herbs can offer. Across thousands of real-world poison center records, a pattern repeats. Every hour spent hoping a remedy will work instead of seeking professional care increases the risk of permanent harm or death. In plant poisoning cases, the odds of a severe outcome nearly double if hospital arrival is delayed beyond 4 hours. For massive bleeding, airway swelling, or sudden confusion after ingesting an unknown plant, the difference between survival and tragedy is measured in minutes, not hours. Toxicologists and emergency doctors agree on a simple rule. Certain symptoms, called red flags, mean the kit is closed and the phone is picked up. These include severe shortness of breath, rapid swelling of the face or throat, persistent high fever in a baby, heavy bleeding that soaks a towel, or any sudden loss of consciousness. In these situations, herbs are not a bridge. They are a dangerous detour. Even the most trusted remedy cannot replace airway support, blood transfusion, or antitoxin drugs. The fix is as clear as it is urgent. Post a red flag symptom list inside every herbal kit and treat it as a hard stop. If one appears, call emergency services immediately. No home remedy can buy back lost time. The most responsible herbalist knows when to act and when to step aside. Maya stands by her father's pill organizer, a bottle of St. John's wort in one hand and his heart medication in the other. She hesitates, scanning the labels, wondering if a natural mood booster could possibly clash with the daily prescriptions that keep him stable. It is a question almost no one asks until the damage is done. The real danger with herb-drug interactions is invisible at first, a molecular collision that can quietly unravel the safety net of modern medicine. St. John's wort, for example, is celebrated for lifting low spirits, but its hyperforeign content revs up the liver's main drug-clearing engine, the cytochrome P450-3A4 system. The result is that blood levels of dozens of critical medications, antidepressants, birth control, anti-HIV drugs, transplant immunosuppressants, can fall by half or more. In clinical trials, women on oral contraceptives who added St. John's wort saw contraceptive failure rates double. For transplant patients, a drop in cyclosporin can mean organ rejection. The herb's effect is so powerful that pharmacists warn against mixing it with any prescription drug unless a doctor is closely involved. Other interactions are less about losing protection and more about amplifying risk. Garlic and ginkgo, both popular for heart health, thin the blood by blocking platelet clumping. For someone on warfarin or other anticoagulants, this can tip the balance from safe to life-threatening. Hospital records document cases where a daily garlic supplement, layered on top of warfarin, led to spontaneous brain bleeds. Ginkgo has triggered similar emergencies, sometimes with no warning except a sudden severe headache. Licorice root, often used for coughs or stomach upset, carries its own hazard. Its sweet compound, glycyrrhizin, blocks the enzyme that keeps blood pressure in check. Just 2 weeks of daily licorice tea can raise blood pressure and undo the effect of common antihypertensives, sometimes pushing patients into crisis. Pharmacists have flagged emergency room visits where licorice was the hidden culprit behind new onset hypertension or dangerous drops in potassium. The fix for this interaction minefield is both simple and essential. Keep a single, up-to-date list of every herb, supplement, and prescription drug in the household. Before adding any new remedy, plant or pill, run the list through a pharmacist or an online interaction checker. This step takes 5 minutes and has prevented countless emergencies. For Maya, this habit turns a moment of doubt into real protection for her family, ensuring that natural remedies remain allies, not hidden threats. Right now, herbal mistakes still send thousands of people to emergency rooms each year, nearly all preventable with better knowledge. In a crisis, the line between remedy and risk is unforgiving. True preparedness means questioning, verifying, and always choosing safety over assumption. Survival favors those who respect what they carry.